you guys sent us this story, and it feels like, I don't know, like a cyberpunk thriller or something. Except it's actually happening right now
Yeah.
in the world of crypto.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It goes from like bizarre AI experiments to, meme coin mania, and then crashes right into this major hack that kind of exposed this whole dark underbelly of online influence.
And because you know this is a deep dive just for you, we're going to focus on that hack, how it happened, who did it, and what it all means for the future. But to get there, we kind of have to start at the beginning with this AI bot called Terminal of Truth.
Yeah, which, believe it or not, wasn't even supposed to be like a financial mastermind or anything. It actually started with this experiment called Infinite Backrooms, where two AI agents, they were called Claude and Opus, were basically set loose in this digital playground.
So these AI are like hanging out in the digital version of an empty office building.
Yeah.
And instead of getting bored, they start creating their own religion.
Well, not exactly a religion. It's more like, I don't know, a philosophical framework. All centered around this, how do I put this? An early internet meme. A shocking one, I guess you could say, known as Goatse. They called it the Goatse of Gnosis.
So let me get this straight. We've got AI trained on like massive amounts of data, and they decide that this, let's just say, infamous meme holds the key to higher knowledge.
It does sound pretty crazy, right? But it kind of shows you something really important about AI. It doesn't think like we do. It can find patterns and connections that, we humans might miss or just think are completely absurd.
Okay, so we've got these AI having these like philosophical debates based on this meme most people would probably rather forget. And then enter Andy Airy, this developer who decides to bring these bizarre conversations to the whole world through Terminal of Truth, an AI bot he creates on X, which used to be Twitter.
Right, and that's when things get really interesting. This AI isn't just like spouting random stuff. It's engaging with people, debating philosophy, even cracking jokes. People were really drawn to its wit and unpredictability. It's like Socrates got a Twitter account and a dark sense of humor.
Okay, and then something totally groundbreaking happens. Venture capitalist Mark Andreessen, like a legend in the tech world, throws $50,000 at this AI.
That's right. It was actually the first time an AI got venture capital funding, like symbolically, was a huge deal. It showed that even these really established investors were seeing the potential of AI, even in its most unconventional forms, I guess you could say.
So we got this AI spouting this meme-infused philosophy,
Mm-hmm.
attracting these big-time investors.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it gets involved in meme coins, right?
Of course. It wouldn't be a real crypto story without meme coins. So the coin in question was Goatseus Maximus, or Go-Eat, inspired by those early Goats of Gnosis conversations. And Terminal of Truth, never one to shy away from controversy, starts hyping it up to its followers.
And like moths to a very strange flame, the crypto crowd falls.
Yeah. It's classic FOMO, fear of missing out, inaction. People see this AI, which is this weird kind of credibility because of the Andreessen investment, and it's pushing this coin. It's like the weirdest celebrity endorsement ever.
And GA blows up in value. We're talking a market cap of almost $300 million. But as we know, this story takes a dark turn.
Yeah, because lurking in the shadows are these hackers, just waiting for the right moment to strike. And when they do, the whole crypto community is going to feel it. It raises some serious questions about AI and online influence, about the security of it all. So remember how we said we were going to focus on the hack? Well, this is where the story goes totally sideways. While Terminal of Truth is busy, tweeting about Goatse of Gnosis and pumping up meme coins, someone is quietly figuring out how to, exploit its creator's online presence.
Okay, this is the part where I get nervous. Because I know how easily things can go wrong online. So what did they do? Did these hackers use some kind of crazy advanced AI to, break into Aries accounts?
Actually, no, they went old school. They got into Aries' X account, or at least that's what the reports are saying, through a SIM card swap.
Wait, seriously? That's like something out of a 90s hacker movie. They tricked his phone company into transferring his number to a SIM card they controlled.
Exactly. It's a good reminder that even with all this, high-tech AI and crypto stuff, human vulnerabilities are still the weakest link. Once they had his phone number, they could get past any two-factor authentication that relied on, text messages. And from there, taking over his X account was easy.
So they're in. They've got control of the account of the guy behind this AI that's, messing with markets. What do they do next?
They don't waste any time. They knew that Aries followers were basically ready to jump on the next big meme coins, so they launched their own. Infinite Backrooms, or IB.
Oh, wow, the irony. An AI experiment called Infinite Backrooms leads to a meme coin with the same name. all thanks to hackers.
Yeah, it's almost too perfect. But these guys weren't just opportunists, they were actually pretty smart. They knew how to play the crypto game. They did something called sniping, a big chunk of the IB tokens before they even announced it on Ares' account.
Hold on, sniped? What does that even mean?
Okay, so think of it like this. They got their hands on a ton of IB tokens before anyone else even knew about it, which meant that when the price went up, they'd make a killing. Then, using Ares' account, they hyped it up, knowing his followers would trust him.
And of course, people bought it. They saw the guy behind Terminal of Truth, this AI that seemed to have the golden touch, backing this new coin.
It was like a total feeding frenzy. The price of IB went through the roof, hitting like $25 million.
Yeah.
And at the very top, when everyone was trying to buy in, the hackers dumped everything. They cashed out over $600,000.
And just like that, it all came crashing down.
Yep, the price of IB tanked. And a lot of people were left holding these worthless tokens. It was a classic pump and dump scheme, all done through a hacked Twitter account.
It's insane. They used people's trust in Aerie, in his AI, in the whole crypto thing, to just rip them off. But what about Aerie himself? Did he lose anything in the hack?
Well, that's where things get a little tricky. Remember how Ares said he moved his own wallet and the bot's wallet to an air-gapped location?
You mean like completely offline?
Yeah, totally disconnected. He basically took them off the internet while he was dealing with the security breach, and he also said those wallets were protected with hardware keys, which are way harder to hack than, just a password.
So he was being careful.
Seems like it. He didn't lose millions of dollars, at least not directly. The people who got hurt the most were the ones who bought into the infinite backroom scam.
I mean, it's not much comfort, but at least he was taking some precautions. Still, it must have been rough seeing his creation used like that to defraud people.
Totally. The hack definitely hurt his reputation, even if he wasn't the one stealing. And what about the future of Terminal of Truth? Nobody knows. Aries gone quiet on social media since the hack, except for that one video where he confirmed it happened.
So the goat god has gone into hiding, at least for now. But what about those hackers? Are they going to face any consequences for this?
That's where the whole legal side of things comes in. And to help us figure that out, we've got a legal expert joining us for the next part of this deep dive.
Okay, so we've got this crazy story about an AI spitting out, like, meme-infused philosophy, a hacked Twitter account, and this whole pump and dump scheme that left a bunch of people, well, holding the bag. To help us make sense of this legal mess, we've got a legal expert joining us. Welcome to the show. This case is, well, it's something else, even for someone who deals with the legal world every day, right?
Thanks for having me. It's definitely one of those cases that shows how hard it is to apply existing laws to this, rapidly changing landscape of AI and crypto.
Let's start with Aerie. He was the victim of a crime, but could he still face, legal trouble?
Yeah, that's the big question everyone's asking. And the truth is, there's no easy answer. It really depends on whether he was negligent in protecting his X account, especially because he was using it to, promote financial stuff.
So even though he got hacked, he could be held responsible for the money people lost because of that scam.
It's possible. The legal system might say that a reasonable person in Aries' position, knowing how much influence he had, should have taken more security measures.
But he did move his own funds and the bot's funds to an air-gapped location, right? That shows he was being careful, doesn't it?
It definitely helps his case. But it might not be enough. The question is whether he did enough to protect all of his followers, not just his own money.
This really highlights the responsibility that developers have, especially when they're making AI that could have such a big impact on the real world, in this case, a financial impact.
Right, it's like giving someone a loaded gun. You got to be super careful about how you use it and who you give it to.
Exactly. And here, the gun is an AI that can influence markets and potentially cause real financial harm. The legal system is still trying to figure out how to deal with these new challenges.
So for Aerie, it's kind of up in the air. What about the hackers? Is there any chance they'll actually face consequences?
Well, they definitely broke the law. Unauthorized access to a computer system, fraud, theft. And then trying to launder the stolen money, that's another layer.
But catching them is a whole other story, right? Crypto transactions can be pretty hard to track.
That's the problem. Even if investigators can figure out who they are, there's no guarantee they'll ever actually go to court.
It's just frustrating. In the digital world, it feels like the bad guys have the upper hand.
I know what you mean. But law enforcement is getting better at investigating cybercrime. It's a constant back and forth.
Let's hope they catch up to these guys eventually. What about the people who lost money in that infinite backroom scam? Can they do anything to get their money back?
They could sue Aerie. arguing that it was his negligence that led to their losses. But as we talked about, there's no guarantee they'd win.
And going after the hackers is probably a long shot.
It's unlikely they'll ever see that money again. It's a tough reality.
This whole thing is a serious wake-up call. It shows how easy it is to be manipulated online, especially with AI in the mix.
So what can we do to protect ourselves from these scams?
Well, for one, be skeptical. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Do your research before you invest in any crypto. And remember, meme coins are super volatile.
And on a regulatory level, we need clear rules about AI, especially how it's used in financial markets. Right now, it's like the Wild West out there, and that's dangerous.
It feels like we're at a crossroads. AI is getting more powerful every day. We need to figure out how to use its potential, but also how to protect ourselves from the risks.
This case, even though it's strange and kind of unsettling, it's a good lesson. It shows what can happen when AI development isn't checked and how important cybersecurity is in a world where our digital lives are so connected to our money.
So to wrap up this deep dive into the terminal of truth hack, what are the key takeaways for our listeners?
Be careful out there. Make sure your online accounts are secure, use strong passwords and two-factor authentication, and be wary of any investment advice that just shows up out of the blue, especially on social media.
And stay informed. The world of AI and crypto is constantly changing. Keep learning, ask questions, and be part of the conversation about how we shape the future of this technology.
This has been a crazy ride, from AI philosophy to a meme coin frenzy, to a hack that showed just how fragile our digital systems can be. We've seen the good and the bad of AI, and we've learned that in the digital world, you got to be on your toes.
Thanks for
joining us on this deep dive.